Hey everybody, Alan Ward from Slow Fortune, and I just wanted to have a talk to you about the fraud that happened recently around the early release of superannuation here in Australia for COVID-19. Just a very quick recap. So the government brought in some rules recently that said that if you're affected by COVID-19, there's a few criteria you have to satisfy, that you would be eligible to receive an early release of your superannuation benefits of $10,000 this financial year and $10,000 next financial year. I have a video on that to talk about whether it's the right thing for you to do or not. Then about a week or so ago, I saw a thread on Reddit from somebody that had their identity stolen, basically. And what had happened is that they'd received advice in their superannuation fund that $10,000 had been withdrawn from their fund. The only problem was that they actually hadn't initiated that early release at all. And turns out what had happened is somebody had got a hold of their tax file number, set up a fake MyGov account, used that tax file number. Now I'm uncertain how they got hold of this person's superannuation details, whether that is linked to the tax file number. So when you enter that into MyGov, whether it automatically brings up your super funds attached to that, I'm not sure there. But somehow they had enough information to go in and impersonate this person and request $10,000 be paid to a bank account that is not that person's bank account. Now, interestingly enough, then the government moved in just to put a pause on the scheme whilst they worked a few things out, and now it's back up and running. The superannuation funds right from the start had, rightly so, said to the government, look, we actually have some concerns about this scheme and the security of it. Because I know from experience in the financial planning world, if we ask a superannuation fund to pay money to a client's bank account, they want evidence that that bank account actually does belong to the client. There's nothing wrong with that. They want to make sure the money is going to the right account. Now, if you then give them a subsequent request to withdraw money, they're generally okay with that because it's okay, we've already paid it to this bank account once. We know that's the right bank account, we'll pay it there again. What they were concerned about with the COVID-19 early release of super is that they're unable to verify the bank details that it's being paid to, and the super funds are in fact liable if they pay it to the wrong person. So they wanted some indemnities from the government, which the government didn't want to give them. Nevertheless, it's back up and running now, and everything seems to be going smoothly. My advice to you to avoid this happening is twofold. One is keep an eye on your superannuation. If you've got online access, just log in there to make sure that there's no unauthorised withdrawals happening. Check your emails to make sure the fund hasn't processed a withdrawal and sent you a notification of that. But secondly, and actually very, very important, is guard your tax file number. Look after your tax file number. It's actually a really, really important piece of information that can be used for identity fraud, not just for early release of super, but for other things as well. So again, I know from experience in the financial planning world that, if we provide your tax file number to a product provider, for instance, they destroy that straight away. They enter it into their system, but they can't view it. That's how private it is, and there's certain privacy rules around in Australia to stop people having access to other people's tax file numbers. So with your tax file number, keep that private. Don't share it with people. Don't make it easy for people to find. It should only ever be used by you, the ATO, employers, and superannuation funds or investment funds and that sort of stuff. There's really not too many other cases where you would happily show that to people. So I hope that helps. A bit of a recap on what happened with the early release of super scam and a bit of information around how to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Would love your feedback. Leave a comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.